What's going on, fishy friends? Rich here, Rich's Fishes, quick little fish room update. Looks like I have lost a little bit of footage. I've been using a combination of cameras recently, and that has proved to be not a wise choice on my decision because I can't keep track of memory cards and different file names and what the hell I was doing. But long story short, I've moved a couple of things. The 10-gallon rack is missing a 10-gallon tank. The rack over here is missing a 38-gallon tank, and there's a 40 breeder. It's empty in its place right now, which fits an almost 1-year-old baby girl perfectly. Hopefully I could splice in that picture here. What else has changed? So, the 38-gallon tank that used to be over there is now down here, housing the same two discus. The 20-gallon tank and the 10-gallon tank that used to be over here are now over here. Down here are the 3 rams that I have had in the fish room for quite a while. I combined them just the other day when I got that recent delivery of new fish. My daughter's 10-gallon glofish tank is up here. See later in the video about what's going on with that and what the catastrophe is there. 10-gallon tanks that used to be over here. There's now an empty 12-gallon long right there, below my second 12-gallon long that I've not yet filled. The 10 gallons that used to be over there are over here. Over here is the tank with the new Epistogramma Hongsley. The trio, which is looking very, very well. Here's the male in a shadow. Probably not going to come out on camera. There's one of the females. There's the male. Come on, a little further, buddy. No, he's not going to come out. And then the catastrophic failure of my 10-gallon tetra / red cherry shrimp tank. So what I'll do is I'll splice together whatever video I was able to save from all that and see if I can't make something that resembles a fish room update for YouTube. Anyway guys, comment, rate, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing, a thumbs down if you don't. Follow Rich's Fishes on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to me here on YouTube if you like what I'm doing, and follow along for a lot more similar content. Later guys. Besides all that work to the fish tanks, I've also been doing some electrical work down here in the basement and getting ready to eventually expand the fish room. So what I had to do is wire in a couple of more boxes. So the end of the new electrical that I did about a year ago down here ended there last year. So we come out from there to a new box over in the corner, which you probably can't see because it's real dark. Over this way to a new box there that's not being used yet. Over to here to a box that I am now using. And over to here to that box which is feeding these power strips, which is feeding the new rack over here. Alright guys, so I've been busy at work, got some tanks moved, got a hell of a mess here in the fish room, but I think I might have made a huge mistake. Let's see some of the aftermath of all the stuff I've been doing. Discus tank from that corner over there is now down here. Got the empty 12 longs, one on top of the other. And I moved a couple of 10 gallons and the 20 gallon over here. This 20 is the one that I just scaped the other night and put my rams in. These are the rams that I had already in the house. There they are over there in the corner. All 3 of them doing perfectly fine. Moved my little girl's glowfish tank to over here. Everybody in there looks like they're doing well. I moved over the 10-gallon tetra tank and think I've killed every single fish in this tank, and I'm not exactly sure how. There's the pristella tetra sitting there pumping away, trying to breathe. And I believe all I have now are bodies of dead neons, and I'm not exactly sure why. I was lazy. The cherry shrimp are still alive. I'm not sure how many are in here. I don't see anything swimming right now. The black skirt is in the back corner. I'm not going to be able to focus through all the muck and the mire. I kicked everything up. But I was lazy, and I didn't remove anything from the tank. I just drained it as low as I possibly could, and then hauled it over here, moved it with the fish and the water, you know, whatever little water I left in it. Which I thought was the right move, but maybe not, because all my neons have died on me. And I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if I had a big temperature spike and wasn't paying attention, if I didn't add the chlorinator fast enough. I'm also concerned, this is the tank with the brand new Apistos. There's the male, the Hong Sloy. And after I moved them over here, all the fish were huddling at the surface. Now, again, I think I wasn't paying attention when I was refilling, and I think I had a big temperature spike. It's up to 83.7. That's a little higher than it usually is in this tank. Once I saw them hanging out at the surface, though, I immediately added in an extra air stone. One of the females is still hanging out. I can't focus on anything right now because the water's still a little dirty. One of the females was still hanging out at the top, but there you go. Both females actually are hanging out down low now. So maybe I don't have anything to worry about in this tank, thankfully, because these are brand new Apistos, and it'd be a shame to lose them. Not that it's not a shame to lose all the tetras out of this tank. I'm pissed at myself. I'm pissed because I don't really know what the heck actually happened. But whatever happened, happened, and I can't fix it now. I'm not giving up hope completely, especially since that pristella is still trying to breathe, but I don't have high hopes. So, what I had to do was actually quite a pain in the ass moving all this stuff around. I had some camera issues, I had some battery issues, I had memory card issues, I had physical space issues myself down here just because there's nowhere to work. And one of the other issues that I ran into is my air supply system. I don't go back into that corner. The air supply turns here on this corner. And I didn't have any extra drops drilled yet. I didn't have any holes drilled, and I don't have enough valves. I only had 3 extra valves to put right there. And then I got to string a bunch of long lines from over here, so I had to move around. Let's see, these 2 sponge filters in this discus tank used to be connected to that. I had to move them all the way over to here. I had just enough lines there to run everything down to the discus tank. Actually, one of those lines has to go run behind the tank all the way up to over there. So that 10-gallon neon tetra tank used to be up here, and now what's in its place is a 17-gallon rimless Mr. Aqua tank. It's a tank I've had for quite a while and just never filled up. And I'm going to go put the 40 breeder over here eventually. Alright guys, it's been about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, maybe even longer since I was filming before. And that pristella tetra that was sitting there, lying in the substrate, breathing heavily, is up and swimming. So that's a plus. Maybe all is not yet lost. The black skirt's back there. Black skirt is okay. I got one dead neon for sure. I mean, that thing's definitely a goner. But now, honestly, I don't even see the rest. I don't know what to say. There's at least one more body of a neon back there. Not going to focus through the muck and the mire. So, definitely not good, but maybe not quite as bad as I thought. Well, the cherry shrimp are already starting to pick at the neons. There's 3 bodies there. One behind the driftwood back there that the camera can't pick up. So, as I've said before, neons are super sensitive, and I think this is showing it, because these other fish in this tank were able to survive whatever the hell it was that caused these deaths. But honestly, right now, I am just happier that these new Apistos are doing okay. Of course, now I can't even find them to film them, but I did just see them swimming. There's the male. Where the females are. There's one of the females way down low. Oh, come on, focus. And the other female, I don't know where the other female is. Hopefully she's alright. So I still got some more work to do down here, that's for sure. Alright guys. Oh, you know what? The other catastrophe that I found today. When I moved my daughter's 10-gallon glofish tank, I find that there's a crack in the tank that's been there for quite a long time. I don't know if it's going to show up there. There it is. See that edge that's cracked? That must have been like that for the past year or so. I've always thought that the evaporation rate out of this tank was higher than all the others. And I think what's actually going on is that there's a slight drip coming out of this crack. There it goes down the side of the tank. So that's definitely not good. By the time I noticed this, tonight's a Sunday, it was after 6 p.m. when I noticed it, so I couldn't even go around to Petco and take advantage of the $1 per gallon sale for one more tank. The other weird thing, here's one of my old 10-gallon tanks. Grabbed this out of my parents' house. Look, it's a slightly different size. It's a slightly bit shorter than the newer 10-gallon tank for some reason. Thought that was a little interesting. It's odd how over time these things slightly change, but for the most part stay exactly the same. What else? The new German blue rams are doing really well. Maybe these two are pairing off. What I purchased from that breeder the other day was a confirmed pair as well as a bunch of females. I think this breeder, like so many others for some reason, has a very difficult time breeding rams because what should have been a single male out of a group of 10, I ended up getting 12. He threw in 2 extra because we had some issues shipping. But I've definitely got more than one male. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. But I was hoping to put a breeding pair and 6 females in this tank. Alright, let me get back to work, guys.